Hi and a warm welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how you can take cuttings of the beautiful Hydrangea Annabelle. This one. August and September is the perfect time to be taking semi-ripe cuttings or semi-hardwood cuttings as they're sometimes known. So that just means that the tip is quite pliable, it's still quite bendy, but as you go down the stem it starts to become hardened. Now later, past September time, you'll be looking at hardwood cuttings. So they are stems that are completely hard from the tip to the end. But at this time of year it's the semi-ripe cuttings that we're looking for. And you can also propagate things like the Philadelphus, the ribes, different types of different currants even, and things like your herbs, so your lavenders, your rosemaries, your sage. So for this process we need some secateurs to take the cutting with, a pot of gritty compost, some hormone rooting powder, some water and a plastic bag to put over the container once the cutting's been taken. And that can be in the form of polythene bag with an elastic band around it, or I like to use a bag that's got a zippy thing to it, so one of the zippy bags that you find in supermarkets is ideal. Hydrangea Annabelle is one of those shrubs that delights any garden. It has these beautiful big bright white flowers, very blousy, and these come through the summer, and it is a fantastic shrub if you have a bit of a shady area. This particular variety of Hydrangea arborescens does require a little bit of support because it does have a tendency to flop, particularly if it's been raining and these flower heads have the weight of the rain on them. They kind of flop forwards and sometimes they can actually break the stems. So we grow it in a container and we have a nice round metal support which supports a lot of these stems as they come up. We have lost a few during this year, a few stems that are broken off through the wind and through the weight of the rain, but that's just one of the things that we have to live with. Now those flowers that came off went straight into a vase and delighted the house for a number of days as a cut flower, so they wasn't wasted. It's one of those plants that has these beautiful flowers that is just fantastic, and a lot of people use these type of hydrangeas for things like wedding flowers and also for bouquets of flowers for the house. I've been looking at this plant over the last few days because I've been trying to identify when I can get a cutting from it and if there's material that I can get a cutting from, because most of the time with these you find that there's a lot of flowers and there's not many stems that haven't got flowers on, but I have been able to locate one. So I'm going to show you how we take a cutting of this hydrangea, and I'm going to demonstrate that on the very one stem that I've been able to find. So this is the stem I'm referring to. As you can see, all of these other stems have actually got flowers on, but this particular one hasn't. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to take the cutting just below where a pair of leaves are. And all we need to do with this is I've taken the cut just below where a pair of leaves are. I'm going to remove those lower leaves because they're going to be going underneath the soil. I'm also going to remove the next set of leaves, and I'm going to reduce the other leaves by half, and this just helps to stop any transpiration or too much transpiration, which will cause too much stress for this cutting, because what we don't want to do is it to lose too much moisture and end up being under too much stress so it can't grow. So we're now looking at a cutting that looks a little bit like this. Now what I can do is nip out this growing bit, very top. So we're just left with a stick with a little bit of leaf. And it does need the leaves on there because that will continue to photosynthesize. We just reduce them to try and stop too much transpiration. And then using some hormone rooting powder, we dip the end into the rooting powder, and then with your pot of gritty compost we make a little hole in the side and just pop that down and just secure the soil just around it. And then with your water, give that a good drink. Allow any water to drain out. Give it a little bit more. And then the last thing to do is place your bag over the top. So this goes right over the top of the plant. And this just acts as a little mini greenhouse, and it helps the cutting to keep the moisture around its leaves and prevents it from drying out. Now these zippy bags are perfect because you can also write on the plant name, you don't have to put a label in it, and the date when you took it. And that's basically all you need to do. Now with the cutting taken and all prepared, we just need to put this pot somewhere out of direct sunlight. It can be left outside, there's no problem with that. It doesn't really need a propagator, it doesn't really need any bottom heat, it will root in its own time. And if you're taking multiple cuttings within the same pot, if your plant has more stems that doesn't have flowers on, then you can actually wait until there's roots showing at the bottom and then take them out and plant them into their individual containers to give them some more room and space to grow. Now I've only got the one, so I'm going to leave this in this container till literally it can fill up the whole container with roots, and then I'll be adding that then, taking that out and popping that onto a larger container and growing it on. So like I've already mentioned, it's a great time of year to be taking these types of cuttings, and it's not just limited to hydrangeas, there are other kinds of plants you can do it with as well. So things like, I've already mentioned lavender, sage, rosemary. You can also do it with Buddleja, you can do it with Philadelphus, with the ribes, and also with box. Box is a good time to be doing this as well with. There is enough heat at this time of year during the months of August and September to get these cuttings off to a really good start, so you have some little plants growing before the autumn comes. I do hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. If you do grow Hydrangea Annabelle, this is a really good way of propagating it and getting more plants for other areas of your garden. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please, if you've got any comments, please drop them in the comments box below the video. We will see you very soon on the next one. In the meantime, please do take care and happy propagating.